I'm Tom from Legendary Heritage Farm in southern Maine, and I want to take a few minutes to talk about why my chickens stopped laying eggs. Why did you stop laying eggs? I've had chickens for a number of years. I grew up with chickens. My grandfather had chickens. It's just, I'm surprised I don't look like a chicken, even though I was in the military for a long time. I've always been a fan of chickens. We've always had them around. And you know, one of the questions people would ask me is, why did my chickens quit laying eggs? What's going on? It's a pretty common question, and it's really got a simple answer. And my go-to answer for why your chickens didn't lay eggs is, what are you feeding them, and are they getting enough water? Now, a chicken, a female chicken, is called a pullet. And then when she first starts laying eggs, they'll be what we call pullet eggs, and that scraping you hear there is a lamb next door. So if you're just wondering what's happening, it's not the boogeyman, it's just a lamb. But they'll start with that pullet egg, and then the eggs will get bigger. And chickens need 14 to 16 hours of daylight a day. So when the winter comes and the days get shorter, I put a light on a timer, and that light will go off before the sun goes down, so it gives the chickens a chance to roost. But it's important that the chickens have enough time to get up in the morning, get something to eat, get their water, go to the bathroom, and then they have light. So I use a daylight bulb. I don't use a heat lamp. I don't believe in a heat lamp. So sunlight, very important. If your days are getting shorter, you're going to see your eggs slack off unless you fill that gap with some artificial light. What are you feeding your chickens? So chickens are not very happy about being stressed out. If you do anything that will stress out the chickens, you will pay in the form of reduced egg production. So let's say you buy a flock of chickens that are laying eggs, you bring them home, they lay for a day or so, and then nothing. The shock of that move is going to cause sometimes the chicken to stop laying eggs until she gets back in her routine, and it may be a few weeks. Now after that chicken first starts laying eggs, she'll lay about 18 months or so. That's provided that you haven't messed up the lighting schedule, you know, you fed them accordingly, they have plenty of water, and then they're going to go into a molt. And what a molt is, and it's not, they don't go bald, all their feathers don't just fall out. What happens is they just look really shaggy, and you'll just see feathers around, and you'll see loose feathers here and there. And as you can see, this chicken here, she's not very old. She's about 8 months old, so she has really nice feathers still. She's a little scraggly on the back because it's winter, but she's a good looking bird. So about a year and a half, they're gonna shed out all their feathers, and during that time, all the calcium and everything else, all the protein, all the vitamins and nutrients that would be used to form an egg are going to be redirected into feather growth. So they won't lay an egg for a month or two while they're molting, and some breeds will do that quicker, some will take longer. It's just, you know, generally within a month or two. So we've got sunlight, we've got the molt. The third thing is feed. Now, as I said before, chickens don't like to be stressed out, they don't like change. They are a creature of habit. They like to eat the same thing every day. So I only buy one brand of food for the chickens. It's cool and green, and I feed them layer pellets. And as I've said in previous videos, I like the pellets because if it falls in the shavings, in the bedding, they can still see it. Crumbles, they can still see it. The mash, it's, you know, it's probably going to be lost. But be consistent with your grain, and it doesn't matter if you buy your grain from a feed store or if you buy it from a box store. It doesn't matter. Buy consistent feed. Same thing every week. You may get a coupon in the mail. You may be out and say, I'm going to get this brand this week. Don't do it. Don't be tempted to just pick up random feed and feed to your birds. You will pay the price in eggs. So be consistent with your feed. Another thing about feeding birds is they need 90% or 95% of their feed to come from a complete ration, and that complete ration means they have all their vitamins and minerals mixed in to the pellet or crumble. You start putting in tons and tons of, you can feed your birds compost, you can feed them, table scraps, but that can't be it. You can't say, I'm just going to feed them cracked corn this week, or I'm going to feed them corn mash, cornmeal. That will mess everything up. You will lose eggs. So you can, when you let the chickens out, if you want to throw a few pounds of chicken scratch out there and it gives the chickens something to do to go scratch that up, that's fine, so be it. But make sure that their primary food is that balanced ration, so that's their go-to. Everything else is dessert, okay? Your garden compost, the chickens love it, they're going to eat it. Whatever's left from the table at night, you can throw that out there, but they need to have their primary diet balanced ration. Water. Chickens need a lot of water. It takes a lot of water to make an egg, as you can imagine. They're like 60-70% water. The eggs are composed a lot of water. The chicken needs water, so don't let that chicken get dehydrated, because dehydrated chickens, you're going to pay for it in egg production, and you could get an egg-bound chicken. There's just a whole host of problems with being dehydrated, okay? You don't want that chicken to get sick, okay? The chickens, they will have some parasites in them, that's normal. They're quite capable of dealing with a certain amount of parasites, but you want to make sure that they're well hydrated, make sure their water's clean. I take the watering system down every few days. I rinse it out, I wash it out, I put it back. So, light, feed, water. Fourth thing, they need oyster shells or some sort of calcium. So I don't add the calcium to the food. I put the calcium in a free choice feed on the side. I don't force feed these chickens calcium, they'll get it when they want it. But it needs to be available, it's very important. If you have any questions about your chicken, why your chicken's not laying eggs, or any other questions about chickens, I'd be more than happy to answer those for you. Please, down in the comments here, you can say, hey Tom, can you help me with my chicken? I got this issue. I'd be more than happy to get back to you. And I'd be honored if you would please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.